Morning. This is Dr. Barnett, and I'm broadcasting live here for the Love Journey Radio. And I will be broadcasting teachings from the Cosmic Mystery School of the Omniverse, which I am the founder and creator of. The Cosmic Mystery School of the Omniverse.com website contains these teachings, and the crystalmagicorchestra.com is the home of the frequencies that I record that have been broadcast from the cosmic councils of this cosmic matrix and from the universal councils and from all of our higher light beings, our guardians, our families, our star consciousness from beyond this galaxy. The creators are Pleiadian fathers and mothers, Sun Alcyon, all of the seven suns, Kaha, Rasa, Taha, La, the 12 star systems broadcasting their frequencies, the universal life force currents bringing in the plasma consciousness back to Earth that was distorted and redistributed through the universe and now being brought back to us. The first thing that I would like to announce is that everything that the guardians, the cosmic matrix, this entire mind of God, cosmos, has been preparing for this planet Earth over the last 5.5 million years, over the last 500 million years, over the last billion years, over the last 9 billion years. This big plan that has been going on in this cosmos and in this universe to form this one planet who is going to be the only truly free planet that has ever been created, this freedom planet. This plan was finally accomplished on December 21st, 2015. So this is a good time to begin reviewing how all of these plans took place and what it has, the purpose of it, and where we are now, how that affects our consciousness now, and how all of this has been taking place through the music of the spheres. The music of the spheres is actually the consciousness of the universe, the consciousness of the galaxy, the consciousness of the cosmos. And each of these spheres of consciousness within a universe, within a cosmos, those spheres of consciousness spin at a specific spin rate, particle spin rate. And what that means is the particles, the omnions that these little particles are made of, become finer and finer until they become so etheric they are invisible. They are pure consciousness of God. So these spinning spheres of music contain the consciousness of the cosmos at a very pure, fine level, and that can be translated into pre-light and pre-sound of the rest of the cosmos. And then the universal cosmos, or the universal music of the spheres, spins at a very fast spin rate, and the galaxy spins at a spin rate. And then the planet spins also has a music of the spheres spinning at a much slower rate, which causes a density. So the faster the spin rate 10,000 times the speed of light energy is the spin rate where the mind of God, music of the spheres, holds all of this other music, all of these symphonies of love within this one mind. And so all of these frequencies of consciousness can be obtained by lifting our minds through these music of the spheres clear out into the cosmos and clear as far beyond the cosmos to the outer sphere, which is spinning at 10,000 times the speed of light, holding us all into oneness. And what this all means is our multidimensional consciousness of all that we were as a galaxy, a universe, and a cosmos is all being spun into attunement through these music of the spheres, spinning and spinning all of this consciousness energy into us to realign our consciousness into the at one-ment, into the attunement of this mind of God frequency. I speak about all of these things briefly and some in great detail in my book titled 12 DNA, The Music of the Spheres Ascension Program from the Cosmic Twins Diary with Keys to the Universe by Dr. Angela Barnett. This book can be found on Amazon, and it can be obtained at my website, crystalmagicorchestra.com. You would go under where it says books and meditations to order it there, and on the crystalmagicorchestra.com you can listen to and order the albums, the MP3 albums and CD albums, where I've collected this consciousness that I'm talking about, this cosmic consciousness, this universal consciousness. And we're especially focusing on universal consciousness because universal consciousness is 12th dimension. It is what has been called the Christic consciousness. Christic actually means 12th dimensional consciousness. It means universal consciousness. It means how high we need to lift our consciousness to obtain the frequencies that the Christ obtained, to be able to clear the portals, the ascension portals of our consciousness back out of the planet and through the galaxy and through the universe and through the cosmos. To obtain our complete cosmic consciousness, we have to be in tune with that 12th dimensional consciousness. And 12th dimensional consciousness also includes the Christic template of the 12 DNA. That 12 DNA, the 12 coded consciousness, that 12 all relates to the 12 star systems. We were made from 12 star systems. That is why we need to regain our 12 coded system, our 12 coded blueprint, our 12 DNA. There are actually 12 DNA strands on each of our DNA. So when you activate even one DNA, you've activated 12 DNA. If you've activated 3 DNA, you've activated 36 DNA. If you've activated 5 DNA, you've activated 60 DNA. For this time period on Earth, what the objective of the Guardians was to mostly activate our 4 DNA. If we could activate the 4 DNA into the 48 DNA, connect our crystal heart chakra, the 4th dimensional chakra, into all of the 12 star systems, that is what would activate our soul energy. The 4th chakra, the 5th chakra, the 6th chakra, that heart chakra area. And that area in our body is right in the chest area, but you go deep within the chest into the thymus gland. And then within the thymus gland is the seed atom. If you go deep, deep back, and then the seed atom touches the back of the skull, the top of the spinal cord, between the bottom of the skull and the top of the spinal cord, there is what is called the medulla oblongata. So there's a pathway there from the heart chakra, the chest bone, through the thymus, through the seed atom, through the medulla oblongata. That is the pathway that is being cleared and reconnected to the mind of God. And then the other pathway that's being reconnected to the mind of God is through the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, and then that also connects back to the seed atom and the medulla oblongata, and then that connects back to the mind of God. These are the pathways in the body that have been blocked and had a veil placed over them to disconnect from the mind of God. So we have been here on this planet Earth surviving with this disconnect, with this veil between us and the mind of God. And what is taking place now is that veil that was blocking this connection has been melting away, being transmuted out of our system. And this is taking place by the light energy, by the photonic energy being sent to us from the sun. And this project of the sun has been taking place over the last more than a decade of time. It has been sending more and more of these bursts of energy called coronal mass ejections and solar winds. The aurora borealis are an example of this energy being sent. The mass plasma ejections being sent to the earth. But this isn't just plasma. This isn't just ultraviolet radiation. This is something coming from the cosmic level of creation. This is consciousness. This is consciousness being transplanted back into the earth from the original 12 star systems containing our 12 coded DNA, our 12 pieces of our consciousness. So there are these 12 star systems, and each one of their suns has sent the energy of their consciousness back into our sun, and then our sun is sending us back that light energy back into our consciousness, back into the consciousness of the earth. Can be no separation between our consciousness and the earth's consciousness. The earth has a crystalline grid. That crystalline grid contains the consciousness of all of the humans on the planet. So as the humans have been having just this emotional template that they've been broadcasting into the crystalline grid of the earth's just been collecting more and more of those emotions. And that's why the earth has become an emotional wreck and has been falling apart. But now is the beginning. The beginning took place on December 21st, 2015, was the first time that all 12 star systems recreated the 12 stargates, returning the consciousness of those 12 star systems back into the grids of Mother Earth. And this was a very long process that has been taking place since the year 2000, bringing back this consciousness. But all the preparation over the millions of years and the realignment, and then finally placing planet Earth in a totally new version of reality, a totally different alignment within the entire universe. The Earth was shifted into a new alignment on December 21st, 2012. So that was really the time the birth of the new Earth, the brand new version of Earth, began in 2012. December 21st, 2015, the mission of bringing the 12 star systems consciousness into the earth was completed on that date, December 21st, 2015. So now we are in a brand new stage of consciousness. We have been shifted out of the consciousness alignment where there were so many problems created in our universe because these 12 star systems were originally one. There was originally one consciousness that this entire plan was made out of. It was the idea, a creation created by the sun Alcyon within the Andromeda spiritual parallel universe. The Pleiadian star system was also a part of this creation. But the sun Alcyon, the son of the Pleiadians, created a star called a Jaho, and that star got blown up into many pieces and spread throughout the matrix, throughout the galactic matrix. And it was blown so far out that it ended up in the Milky Way galaxy. So the Milky Way galaxy was formed by an accident. There was an accident created when this star blew up. But then the creators of this star, the the Pleiadians and Sun Alcyon and all the consciousness that was originally attached to that star came to the Milky Way to help put that system back together. So they have been working on putting Humpty Dumpty back together for billions of years. And this project is finally been completed. To December 21st, 2015, the project of putting Humpty Dumpty back together was completed. So there was this star. It blew up. It came into the Milky Way galaxy. It was blown up into 12 different star systems that we call planets, because these 12 planets became densified from the original light source. Stars are light. Planets are actually the same as a star, but they had their light taken out. So now these planets are having their light turned back on. Planet Earth is having its light turned back on. We are being reformed into a star from the star consciousness that we were originally made out of. So this is what's been going on over this long period of time. So the Guardians had to get to a place where they could realign these 12 sets of stars, the star systems, and the 7 suns who created those systems, and bring all of that consciousness back to us through the sun. So that sun has been collecting these consciousness frequencies and sending them to planet Earth. And the moon has also been playing a process in this. The moon was actually a station setup. It wasn't actually a original part of this Earth's matrix. It was actually created there by the Guardians as a transmission point where all of the intelligence, all of the consciousness of all of the families of consciousness in the galaxy and the universe could play a part in Earth's transformation. So all of the planetary entities who wanted to play a part in this have been stationed in the moon and watching over this process for millions of years. And what they do at the moon station is they gauge our frequencies of consciousness to see how much we are ready for, how much more of our consciousness they can bring back into the earth. Because if they bring back too many frequencies of consciousness at one time, it would make the earth blow up. Just like the star Ajaho blew up. It had too many frequencies. It made it blow up. So they have been watching over this process. There's been a gradual process of getting to the point where they could remove this veil that separated the sun and the earth. And there was this fear, mankind had this fear that if this ozone layer was ever removed that was protecting us from the radiation of the sun, that we would be fried from the sun. And that is a truth, that is a reality. And the Guardians had to prepare for that reality. They created a cosmic buffer blanket around the earth. It is an invisible blanket, but it's allowing the sun's frequencies to come in through this grand blast of ultraviolet radiation, bringing in this consciousness that was originally ours back into the crystalline grids of the earth, while at the same time protecting us from the danger of the waves of burning us and mass destruction of the earth. So we're being protected from that happening at the same time as we're being given back our original consciousness. So this original consciousness of our 12 DNA, when we were a star, when those entities who live on a star have this Christ consciousness, this 12th dimensional consciousness. So we're having our 12th dimensional consciousness return to each one of our DNA. 12th dimensional consciousness in the 4th DNA and in the 5th DNA and the 6th DNA. And what that DNA is actually, you can think of it more like a neurotransmitter. It's the energy signature sending frequencies back and forth through these music of the spheres, like satellite stations sending communication broadcasts. and it is sent through these waves, these cosmic waves and universal waves and galactic waves of consciousness, sending more and more information, more intelligence, more innate knowing. It's all about innate knowing. They're not going to be talking to us in English. It's a matter of knowing, that we're picking up on this knowing because we're wrapped in this broadcast center of all of this information coming to us through our DNA. So I would like to read some parts of my book, 12 DNA, Music of the Spheres, the Ascension Program from the Cosmic Twins Diary with Keys to the Universe by Dr. Angela Barnett. I just gave you an overview of the things that I talk about in that book, but the book itself came from the actual events, my actual life story, myself, and myself who, when I asked my higher self and my councils of creation what my spiritual self made. We all have a spiritual twin, and we have spiritual twins at the galactic level and the universal level and the cosmic level. So my cosmic twin's name was Crystal A. That was what the cosmic councils told me my name was. My spiritual self's name, my spiritual cosmic twin, is Crystal A. So, as I said, the knowingness, which is called channeling consciousness of knowing from Crystal A. So I sign everything that I write Crystal A, because that is my cosmic spiritual twin who broadcasts this information that comes through my pen, comes through my typing on my computer, comes when I speak. All of this knowingness comes from my cosmic twin, Crystal A. When my husband, Joe Barnett, asked his cosmic councils for his name, the name that he was told was Atone. And then he said, "Am I hearing you right? Did you say Atone?" And then it sounded, he wasn't sure if they said Atone or Atani or Atoni or Atonde. But if you look at records of creation, what they were saying to him was the Atoni or the Atone and the Dane. Those words all mean Christ consciousness, the Christ. And there was also a race line called the Atone. They were the second seeding on planet Earth. So he was being told that he was from the cosmic council of the Atone and the Atoni, the Christ consciousness, who were the second seeding of planet Earth. That was about 250 million years ago, the second seeding. So the second seeding of the Atone, they returned again as the third seeding, called the Ceres race line. And then again, the Ceres race line was later known as the Ceres Egyptians. So my husband, whose name was Atone or Tony, meaning the Christ consciousness and the second seeding, so they returned again as the Ceres race line, the third seeding, and then they showed up through the Egyptian Ceres race line. So this was the time of that seeding, was the time when the Atlantis culture had risen to its highest frequencies. It was a very high time in the creation of planet Earth, but that was before the wars started breaking out between the Lemurians and Atlantis, and Atlantis was sucked into the Bermuda Triangle, and the consciousness was sucked in and reversed. This was before that happened. So there was a consciousness on Earth when the second seeding and the third seeding returned to Earth and was creating a very, very nice consciousness on Earth at one time. And then there were many events that happened that that erased that, and we've been trying to even get back to that time. Back into even 35,000 years ago, there was a time period when the consciousness was still quite high and stable on Earth. And then from 35,000 years to the time of the Christ, that 35,000 year period, things got worse and worse. And then they started getting better about 5,000 years ago. And then there was another problem that just created everything to crash into the Tower of Babel. And so our consciousness was just completely distorted again 5,000 years ago in the Tower of Babel, so that we were broken into 12 pieces. So all 12 of us, all 12 pieces of our consciousness would actually go to war with each other. These were all plans by invader race lines to keep us from ever returning to that original 12 coded consciousness, our original Christ consciousness, because a Christ consciousness becomes the most powerful consciousness in the universe. And these other race lines did not have 12th dimensional consciousness. That's why they were evading our planet, and that's why they were sucking our consciousness out of us. They were sucking the selesma out of our souls so that they could obtain some of that Christ consciousness energy. So it is all of these wars on planet Earth have been fighting invader race lines, fighting over a piece of our consciousness. They've been wanting our 12 stargates, because those 12 stargates give us access to all 12 of the universes. They give us access to the entire mind of God, and only those with this divine 12 DNA coding have that access. We were the chosen ones. We were the freedom planet. We were this great plan, this idea created by the Pleiadians to create this freedom planet where there could be no more of this invasion and war and fighting, and that we would be a planet of eternal peace. And that time where the Earth is returning to the peace planet is beginning now. In the next 20 years, we won't even remember the barbaric times that took place in the years before 2013. We won't even remember that anymore. We'll just remember that the way we now think of the cavemen, and that was just an ancient time that we just make comic books about now, of the cavemen and the Neanderthals. We will look at ourselves how we were prior to 2013 as a barbaric planet that just doesn't exist anymore, because now we have moved to a new version of reality. We have moved to the planet of peace. We have moved to a consciousness that is now being filled with light. Now the veil has been removed, blocking us from our connection with our higher self, with our 12th dimensional consciousness. Now we can begin reattaching that consciousness into our DNA,